Hi, this is John Lane from TaxSaleList.com. If you're not familiar with us, TaxSaleList.com is the company that's been providing tax sale list data and tax sale training for 11 years to those on the internet. Tonight we're going to talk about getting title to a tax sale property and how you do it. There are three basic ways to get title to a tax sale property, and the variance, it depends on the jurisdiction and the system they use in that jurisdiction. In some jurisdictions, you just send a check to the treasurer. I live in Colorado. In Colorado, you send a check to them, they do all the work, and they send you a deed. In other jurisdictions, you would apply for a treasurer's deed, or in some jurisdictions, you would apply for what is known as a judicial deed. Now, in those where you send a check to the treasurer, they do the work for you. They do the noticing, they do the title search, etc., and they charge you a flat fee. Now, there is a disadvantage to this. If they screw up, if they don't do it right, you're the one who suffers. But they've been doing it a long time, and it's very rare that they won't do it right. Now, in those jurisdictions where you apply for a treasurer's deed, once you have met the requirements of noticing, you've notified everybody in the chain of title, you send your information to the treasurer, and they provide you with a deed to the property. Now, the disadvantage of a treasurer's deed is it's slightly weaker than a judicial deed, but not a great deal. And very frankly, we've never had a problem with a treasurer's deed. Now, in those jurisdictions where you apply for a judicial deed, the procedure is a little bit longer. In this situation, you actually have to go to court, and you go through a judicial process. It's often called a foreclosure of the right of redemption. And in these jurisdictions, you do want to have an attorney to help you do it. But that attorney's fees in most jurisdictions are recoverable if you don't get the property. If you do get the property, you don't care if the fees are recoverable because the property is going to be worth a whole lot more than that. What are the disadvantages of applying for a judicial deed? It takes a little bit longer than a treasurer's deed, but it is a stronger deed when granted. Now, what does that stronger deed mean? It means that you're more likely to be able to get title insurance on the property a little bit quicker than you would with the treasurer's deed. Now, what are the costs to go to deed and get title? It's going to vary by the process and the jurisdiction within a state. Within the same state, you may find that the cost in one county is much different than the cost in another county. You're going to find that there's a tremendous difference in cost between a treasurer's deed in most places and a judicial deed. A judicial deed's going to cost more. On average, we tell our clients that you ought to plan on spending somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000 to get deed to a property. Now, in some places, you're going to be pleasantly surprised and find out that it's less than that. And in a few places, it might actually turn out to be more. But in most cases, that $3,000 to $5,000 range should handle the cost. Now, keep in mind, in almost all states, some or part of the costs are recoverable if you don't get the property. Now, why wouldn't you get the property? It may be that the property redeemed, and if it redeemed, some of your costs, if you filed the proper forms, some of your costs or all of your legal costs may in fact be recoverable. If you'd like to learn more about tax sales, we regularly hold a free 1-hour webinar that will answer your questions about tax sales. To register, just go to http://www.taxsalelist.com/free/290 or click the link below in the description. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the inside.